Hey guys, welcome up. We're gonna do a little more Esper leveling today. So the last video I said how much I wasn't sure about this class. One thing I have found is that the more I want to play this class now, and that doesn't mean that I'm completely sold on it, but it does mean that I'm having more fun, I think, than I was. Now that I'm used to what I'm doing with the class, I think is the big thing. Alright, so we actually did quite a bit in the last video. It's been about a day since I played on this. I was a little busy yesterday. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna have to kill this tank, so shouldn't be too hard. I do like that this class, I played my spell slinger a little earlier today, probably about 15-20 minutes, and it really made me appreciate, good God, why can't I get out of this stuff? It made me appreciate just, you know, how hard these guys hit. Now here is where it's gonna drive me crazy, is, you know, on the spell slinger, that was not an issue, you know, running. But on this one, that standing still really gimps you, and maybe playing that spell slinger earlier messed with me. One thing I will say that I'm definitely sure of is I do not like the settler. I don't like the path that I chose for it, but just deal with it. I'm not going to restart the character. Alright, so we're going to go into our next little quest hub. Alright, now those are lore books. I've probably mentioned it about 400 times, but you know, I don't read them. I probably should, and I probably will get around to it, but I just don't right now. If you're a big lore freak, which I am a lot of times, you know, by all means, read them. Is there any point to this? I can't really figure out if there is a point. I don't guess. Oh, we got more to do. I mean, it'd be nice if there was a point, but looks like there is not, other than making the place look more, well, better defended. Oh well. And see, this is one of the things I just don't get into. Not getting into. What am I doing? Okay. Guess that wasn't what I was supposed to do. See, that worries me when they run into your path. I'll always think that they're gonna get in the way. Alright, so planting. Guess we'll collect since we're here. Oh, I get it. What's this say? Oh well, I don't know. Alright, so this quest can be, you know, it's not that annoying, but I know when I'm trying to level through here, oops. When I'm trying to level through here and trying to get, you know, just out into the next area, these stupid things running away from me drive me crazy, especially when you do it and they run away at the last minute. That's, oh god, that drives me crazy. Minor thing, but oh, and if you're worrying about picking a class based on, or a race based on the class, you know, like I'm going to use WoW as an example. Well, hell, it's not even going to be that good of an example because I can't remember, but we'll just go with it, and if I'm wrong, you'll get the point. But if you were going to play a hunter in WoW and you were looking at the racial bonuses, you may have been, if you were playing Horde, you might want to pick Troll because they get bonus to bow or crossbow, you know, something like that. So you may have been, okay, well, I really wanted to play an Orc today, but I'm not going to because, well, who can beat that passive? Well, don't worry about that in this game. You know, you shouldn't worry about it in WoW because it's, you know, it's just not something you need to worry about. I mean, if you're going to be the person who wants to maximize every second of your game time to put up best numbers in a raid so that you can be at the top of your game, and I'm not even saying that as, you know, you hear a lot of people saying that it's people who've just got to be the best. Yeah, but sometimes people want to be the best, but not for themselves, but for the good of their team. You don't have to, you know, don't always assume that they're doing it because they're some egomaniac. That's not always the case. But anyway, back to this game. Don't even worry about that stuff. Pick what you want to play. If you want to play a Mordesh, play that. If you want to play the Chua, play that. You know, that's just my little rant. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people in chat already. You know, should I have picked Mordesh for Warrior? You know, what kind of bonuses do they get? What's it matter? Oh, I guess not paying attention cost me my challenge, but I'm not really worried about it. Okay. So if you haven't figured out by now, most of the quest stuff's pretty simple. I do like the way they have things designed, though. I will say that for it. I like that. I don't know if I've played several MMOs, and I'm sure this one's guilty of it too, as they all usually have been. You'll get that one quest that'll send you out into the middle of nowhere, and you have fuck all to do once you get there. You have nothing to do. You get out there, you talk to your one little quest person, and they're like, okay, well, we need you to go kill, you know, 10 wolves, and you're like, okay, we'll go do that. And then it's like, okay, well, you don't get a follow-up. I like the design of this one because it's telling us, yeah, we go out here and we've got 4 and 5 quests. We'll pick up quests while we're out there like that. You know, I've yet to encounter the stage of the game I'm in Ah, shit. Came here too early. And at the stage of the game I'm in, I've yet to encounter any. God damn it. Okay. Anyway, the stage of the game I'm in, I haven't been sent out to an area and only had one thing to do and then nothing. You know, maybe, you know, hell, it may happen later, but I'm gonna stick with saying that so far they've done a good job in setting up the questing experience. Now, like I said, higher zones may be totally different. Now, some of this stuff does get irritating, I will say. The point that all three of these trees somehow have a fallen log in front of them. I just don't see that. I see that as just a waste of time. Oh, look at that. Good for me. Okay. Now we can exit here. And we'll go plant here. We can release these creatures. Now, when you're playing this game, definitely watch your trackers here. Let's do that. Yeah, watch your trackers because it'll tell you can use T to use quest items. So keep your eye open for that. You know, it's not a big deal, but I would hate for you to try to figure that out when it was something as convenient as already being built into the quest tracker. See, the more I get used to this class, just the easier it gets to deal with. I see, like right there was just a habit of messing up. Alright, let's go on down here where we should have been able to do something. I can't remember. It may have actually, there may be a reason that you can't. One thing you may have noticed at this point. Alright. And one thing you may have noticed is the leveling slows down drastically as you progress. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to take you days and days and days to level up. Don't get me wrong, but we saw how through the first video how quickly we were able to progress. And now through 14 or so minutes in this video, we have gained, we've got to level 7 from level 6. And you know, that's, I don't know, that's an issue that I don't personally mind, because honestly in a new game we don't want WoW style leveling where every, God, how quick is it now? I know it can be annoying, I'll just say that. Like getting 10 level, I don't even know if it's that fast, but you know, getting 10 or 20 levels in just a couple hours. For a veteran player, I definitely see why there's an appeal to that, but I think that's also the reason why in WoW at the end, my friends and I had 400 alts. Is it was just too easy. It encouraged almost this ADD of characters. Now that said, I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't like alts. I was terrible for it in Star Wars Galaxies. Now, what I would do there is because I could have, I think it was just one character actually per server. Yeah, I would delete a character because I like leveling alts so much. I would say that a lot of times I like the journey if it's paced properly. Okay. Being rooted near the tether grants an absorption effect. Then a critical hit with a finisher grants 100% chance to reduce your cool. Okay, that is something we like. But yeah, as long as the journey is paced right, going through the story of the leveling experience, I will play it again. I don't see anything wrong with that, but I do think when you make it just too easy, it causes a wide, because you're always going to have people like me that we like a certain aspect. Because I remember when I was doing my alt grinding, I was actually, I think I may have been the first person in my guild to have multiple level 70s. And people thought I was out of my mind. But then as they started making changes to the game and how quick you level, these same people all of a sudden have 3 and 4 max level characters. Me, I will grind out if I'm just having fun. If I feel that it's properly paced, then I'll keep doing it. And I think that's an issue with WoW before I quit. I don't think it's properly paced anymore. And I get why, because there's so many levels, but it's like the starting experience goes by too quick. So by the time you get to the last stuff, you kind of just already fed up with it. And I'm guilty of complaining that I wish it would go quicker. But I think that's the difference, is like it's too quick here, and then it feels overly long afterwards when you get to the content that's actually properly paced, if not technically still a little fast. So, but I will still be, until the game gets to a certain point, and that's just fatigue with it. Once I hit a certain level of fatigue, I don't want to level alts anymore. With this game so far, I like the pacing of it. There's been a couple points that I felt it was too slow, but that it really wasn't too slow. It's just my inability to stay on task, we'll say. I got distracted by the explorer missions, and that's really the big issue, which is good. That's another thing that I think a lot of MMOs are missing, is I do tend to I probably won't on these, since I'll be playing these behind my main character. Maybe I may end up overtaking it, who knows. But that is an issue that I think a lot of games are lacking in the MMO department is exploration. While I got bored of Elder Scrolls very quickly, it had nothing to do with how quickly you're leveling or if there's a lack of exploration. You know, it had nothing to do with any of that. But it definitely, the exploration, I felt like I could just wander off and have a good time doing it. And I think that's what a lot of games are missing. I think the whole theme park aspect doesn't, I don't know, a lot of times it feels like you can't explore with a theme park, which is just not true. And I want to blame I want to take the easy way out and blame WoW, but you know, WoW's an interesting game because it it holds your hand and directs you along a path, which is perfectly fine. But if you take the time to go off that path, which I did back when I was playing, there was a lot of cool stuff. You know, and that's what we need. I'm actually not going to go in. If this was a WoW video, I'd go into what I found. But there was just stuff like right off the beaten path that you could find, and you know, and that was fine. But then you had the issue of you're being whisked along on this path of this story, and you just didn't have. It didn't feel like there was an incentive to go explore. It was almost like, well, I've done all this stuff, and the incentive. And don't get me wrong, the incentive is not from the game developers. The incentive is from players. It just seems like, and I guess you could say it's from the developers. Let's be honest. They showed us nothing to make us think there was things out there to explore. I mean, a reason to explore, worthwhile reason to explore. You know, it's like all you need to it was really, in my eyes, it just seemed like all you need to focus on is getting from point A to point B, turn in at quest C. And I think that is actually just a problem with theme park styled MMOs in general. But as we're finding, especially with Explore in this game, you know, there is stuff out there to see, and it's, you know, it can be really cool. And I guess one of the big issues with me over it is my first MMO was Star Wars Galaxies, which was total sandbox when I played. And, you know, that was what my guild and a couple of us would go out. We'd just go to like places like the Endor, Dathomir, if I even remember the name of that planet correctly. Yeah, we'd go out there and just explore, and you'd find weird stuff. The planets were big. I remember when we found something in Tatooine, like in the middle of the desert. Can't remember what it was, but we were just blown away. And you know, I haven't had that feeling a whole lot in the theme park styled MMOs. But it's coming back. Like this game, one of the Explorer missions had me go to a cave, and it was a very Alice in Wonderland feeling. It's in this zone, can't remember what the name of it is. But yeah, it was, I remember just going in and going, now this is cool. This is, you know, I really felt like that was just something very, very cool. Now, enough of that rant. But I think, well, let's not say enough. I definitely think that I think some developers are taking notice, and maybe just putting that little bit of giving us a little bit of a push to get out there and look, because as we've seen, the stuff is out there. It really is. We just get so caught up in getting to end game at points. I think we just overlook it, and I think a lot of times it is our fault because we're in such a hurry to get there. I think sometimes we see something and we'll go, "Oh, that's cool." Well, when I get to level 90, I'll come back and look at that. And we get so caught up in getting to level 90 that by the time we're there, it's like, oh, wasn't there supposed to be something I was doing? Maybe it's just me. Who knows? What is going on here? Oh, I've either been kicked or lagged. Well, and I'm sorry for that little rant about exploration. And maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. That's fine. If you wanna, there we go. I guess we didn't get kicked. Let's go back. Oh, I bet my inventory's full. There we go. Yep. Yeah, if you agree with me or disagree, feel free to leave a comment and leave your opinion on the exploration issue. And this should also serve to show you what kind of let's play this is going to be. It will, you can get an idea for how things are going to go. We're not going to be all hardcore in it and read the quest, as I've said before. This is just going to be a place to talk, and if you want to leave a comment and state what you think on something I've said, feel free. Alright, so we are just here, and it's a shame, but the video, I guess I got distracted. That could be a reason why the leveling went so slow. We got one level today, which is fine. We got Blade Dance, support, utility. Alright, well, video ran about what I expected. Just didn't get the leveling done that I expected, which is fine. We'll see when I will be back. You can look for the video, a new video, probably within a day or two. Some days you might get 2. Some days you might get 4. It just depends on my time frame or time schedule. I do have a family, a job, and I have obligations that I've volunteered for. So until then, yes, we do. That's another thing, real quick. Recall points, basically the Hearthstone from WoW. You can just remember that. And you saw what they looked like just now. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and turn this one in. And we'll go ahead and plant these real quick. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching. Until next time.